We can make an object like this sphere, kinematic, and we could throw it in this guy's hand. Let's say top, zoom, okay, hand area, and front hand area. And we are going to set it to be kinematic, and we are going to attach it to, let's say, this bone. Select and link. And so the ball moves with the person until such a point, like maybe this punch, okay? So let's move through. I want it to let go right there. Actually, maybe, okay, let me orient myself towards this person. Where are you going to throw this thing? Junk, 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 junk. Okay, apparently it's a swing. So I want it to let go there. So on line 85, in the rigid body properties, it's a rigid body kinematic. Let's drag this guy out so we can read that. That's not what I wanted. Rigid body kinematic until frame 85, at which point we can hit play, and he will turn into a dynamic rigid body. Yeah? When we tell it to let go. So let's rezoom around the whole scene, perspective. Let's see where this guy falls. If we simulate, first punch, second punch. Yeah? So that's a way to throw things. If I had this guy Sorty over here, he could have, I don't know, a lacrosse bat, and he could throw something from it like that several times, and throw things towards, you know, perhaps a stack of blocks that are over here. I really liked using a punch. If you remember my video here, if we go back to this guy, he punches a ball there, punches a ball there, punches a ball like right in front of him. Because I can throw objects at my people like this. So we'll create another ball. Let's create a box this time. Now let's say 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. And let's raise it off the ground a little bit. Let's turn it into a dynamic rigid body. So I'll go through all this again, but I just want to show off a couple of things we can do. If we scroll down to the bottom under Advanced, we can calculate the initial motion. So the initial velocity, let's say we want to go positive on the y-axis. Let's say like 50, and let's change the speed to like also 50, and just see what it does. Hey, let's also make the initial spin like crazy. Let's make 25 by 25 by speed of, I don't know, 25. And so we're going to watch this guy, and we're going to hit play. Oh, God. So we'll lower the speed to 25. Okay, it's pretty intense. Let's change this to like 10. And let's also make it move up by maybe half as much. So it's going to move forward at 50, and it's going to move up at 25. Yeah? So it almost begins to look like it's been thrown. And then I'm not sure, but I think if I were to set this to kinematic until such a frame like 43, what would it do? Let's set you back. Let's go to frame 43 and hopefully jump. Yes! Nice. So I could probably orchestrate this guy if I did it just right, and he launched himself, I don't know, frame 75. Let's see if we can make it hit the sphere. So simulate. And Oh, so close. Let's try 65. And so you can have things thrown at your character at just the right moment to make really cool animations. And, you know, if this was thrown off frame, etc., etc., etc. Let's see. That was too soon. Still too soon. No, too soon, right? So later. So 80. Nice. Okay, so you notice how my ball bounced back because my ball is smaller, but we can change this sphere. I want to select the sphere, please. Thank you. And then we can change the preset for the physical material to be, I don't know, concrete or steel. Let's try steel. And that will change the, no, that's not what I want. Density, the mass, the static friction, which we can edit if we wanted to. If it was none, we could change the mass to be anything. But steel is a preset thing. So let's go ahead and make sure the box is like cardboard, and let's see what the ball does to the cardboard box this time. Yeah, makes the box move. It's right, box. You can get it. Okay, what do you guys think? Doable? As long as I walk you through it again, we can do this. No? Yeah. All right. So, let's make some stuff. Step 1, to the hands, right around both of the hands. I want you to make a dummy. And that's under helpers, right? So that's, yeah, helpers. And I'm just going to make a dummy right over that hand. And right over this hand. And then I'm going to link it to, I don't know, one of the bones in the hand. Yeah. So if you link it to that forearm, it'll be the hand bone. And so you can link it right there. Let's see, what's your deal? Top zoom here and a little bit larger. And linked to the hand. And so because dummies are invisible, we can go ahead and make these rigid body kinematic. And you know what, we might get better results if we go to the MassFX rigid body and we change the shape type to sphere. That way it'll hit things kind of more evenly. Let's try just the thigh and chin for now.
it was mostly just this leg that kept kind of stretching.
Is it working fine now?
Yeah, it's working fine now.
Okay. Sometimes when you have turbo smooth under the skin, it breaks. So you get something like that, where it's all real stiff, except for in one place where it stretches a lot. Was it doing that, or was it something different?
No, it was more or less like if I more or less had extra bevel on this space, and then kind of stretched out. That was what I was doing.
Okay. All right, we'll move your turbo smooth back and start adding in your foot bone and your toe bone until it starts breaking. Trust me with your back. Breaks.
It looks like to wake up in the same state.
Just keep driving. I wonder which one it is.
On your gears?
Yeah, there's need to start them. That's all he told us to do.
Yeah.
I can make it too.
Alright, you trying to make it a sphere?
Yeah.
This right there.
So, instead of asking, you know,
So you can probably delete one too. Caden, you got shape type sphere? Yep. Cameron, you got shape type sphere? Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and put something in front of our dummy that can be punched. So I'm going to put a box, right where this fist goes. Perfect. And I'm going to set it as a dynamic rigid body. And then I'm going to pile like 4 other things up next to it. If you make these instances, when you create copies, then whatever you do to any one of them copies the other. So when I'm building like my Kiva block towers, I'm always building these guys to be instances. Let's see, duplicate, no, shift drag, right? Here's that, instance, and angle snap. So there's a good rudimentary tower. And when I hit perspective and play, I know at frame 71 he's going to punch the crap out of this thing. And we will simulate. And punch. This can be start of an awesome Rube Goldberg machine. He also does kicking at the end, so you can add dummies to his feet as well. Let's see what the dimensions of a Kiva block are. 1/4 inch, 3/4 inch, 4.5 inch. So if I was building a box, ooh, it does say, doesn't it? Okay, this might explode instantly. But here's an example of a Kiva block tower. A very simple, boring one. Oh, they do alright. I don't know if it's tall enough for him to punch. Nope, it needs to be taller. And it fell apart anyway. So one thing we can do for that is increase the like sub-steps and some of the solver iterations. We could also set those to sleep until they'd been punched. We could also make it not as horribly built. We could probably build it better than that. Contact distance, we could, increase. Our rest depth, we could change. Let's see. Let's first move this down. It's a bit high. Okay. Front, zoom, and down to here. And play. No. There we go. That holds all right. It's just not tall enough. So we'll select all of these and shift drag to go up. That's going to be great. It's totally going to fall apart instantly. Ha! Oh, it didn't. Good work, tower. And there it goes. And the punch totally misses because it fell on its own. Let's try again. No, there it goes. For some reason, it explodes. I'll put all these in sleep mode and see if that changes something. Start in sleep mode is right here.
So does that just mean that they don't move until they're interacted with?
Correct. And that doesn't work great at all, does it? It is funny though. So Kiva block towers are a fun thing to mess with. So are just like larger bricks. If we took this box and set it to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, and then just dragged out a bunch of instances of it. Another smart thing to do is, like, it starts getting expensive to move a whole bunch of these Kiva blocks. So what I'll do is I won't set any of those to do anything. I'll just make a bunch of instances, right? And I'll build my tower this way. And then at the end, when I've built what I want, then I'll add the dynamic rigid body, and they will all be dynamic rigid bodies. And when I hit play, they smash down. They look like a pretty good brick house. I break one with my first hand before I might even punch anything. There's another punch. And yes, got one real good. So these can look really fun when they're rendered. Especially if I unhide all. Go away. Yeah, that is great to totally miss the whole body part. So play around with some of those ideas. If you need something for them to like bounce off of, say one of my favorite MassFX examples of like how to scatter coins is to make a bunch of cylinders. Height segments 1, bring you up here, rotate, and then local, we'll shift drag to make a bunch of these. And then we'll drag them in this direction. I'm sure an array would be more efficient. But you can take this entire array of coins and then just drop them on something, like a sphere, for example. And if we make this sphere a static rigid body, and we make all of these dynamic rigid bodies, when we hit play, they'll fall around the sphere and slide off into nice, I don't know, hand-placed coin positions. And so that's roughly how static rigid bodies work. They just kind of sit there. And you can do other things with this. So say I don't reset this at the end, I can actually go to my, what is the name of this? MassFX tool configuration. And I can capture the transforms of where it's currently sitting. And then when I reset this, I did not want to reset that. Those transforms will stay. So let's take it right there and capture transforms. No, I don't think it's doing what I want. Capture transform works the way I'm envisioning it, but I haven't done it in like a year. But again, cool renders. Lots of coins falling. Okay, you guys work on MassFX for a minute. I'm going to start typing up the midterm. I should have given you guys more time to record, but we'll get to that. And the second half of the class is just going to be recording. Or